Ladies and gentlemen of Middle-earth, I'm Ryan the Cyber Hobbit, and it's time for another Weta Workshop Figures of Fandom unboxing. This is Aragorn, whom the people call Strider. If you're unfamiliar with the Figures of Fandom line, it's a series of approximately 1/8 scale statues made with PVC instead of the traditional polystone. I'm a big fan of this line, as it's a way for people to collect pretty high quality and decently sized statues, but also not break their wallet. This comes with a pretty unique box with a see-through window, almost like a large Funko Pop. And although I am a fan of the box, admittedly, sometimes it can be a bit difficult to take it out if you're trying not to cut the little plastic twisty ties they use to secure it. And as usual, let's start with the head sculpt. Okay, well, so for sure this doesn't really look like the actor Viggo Mortensen. Just a sort of uncanny resemblance to the character, but definitely not the actor. I mean, it does have some features of Aragorn, like the hair and beard, and maybe that's enough if you consider the price of this. This also doesn't really look like the Aragorn shown in promotional photos either, although I don't really think that looks like Viggo either. The paint application just doesn't match. The color of his skin, his beard, the direction of his eyes. He has gray eyebrows? Also, where's his second row of teeth? I don't hate it, but this is sort of a letdown. And yes, I know this is all coming from the guy who liked the 1/6 scale classic series Aragorn. But just like with that, a statue isn't only a face, so let's move on. The hair looks pretty decent. The color seems accurate, and it's pretty dynamic and captures his movement as he battles some ring wraiths. Looks nice. I think the thing that I like most about this piece actually is how dynamic it is. It's a still frame of him in the middle of battle, and I really like the flow of his clothing. Speaking of his clothing, there's a good bit of fabric-like texture to it, and the paint application looks great. A mixture of different hues of greens and bits of brown. A nice job on the sculpt of the padding on his forearms too. His laces up the sides, boots, look great too. Nicely painted with just the right amount of weathering. And now his Strider sword. Not much to it, some silver paint and a couple of gold accents. Looks good. His green scabbard is sort of hidden away under his clothing, and it even has the little hunting knife he uses to cut the leaves of the kingsfoil plant. And yes, it's painted correctly on the underside too. His other arm is holding the torch he used to make some barbecued Nazgul. So I've said in the past that I'm not a fan of sculpted fire, but this one isn't so bad. It has many shades of reds and orange, and even some darker tips. I think it works well here because it's done much better, and it's part of the scene, unlike how it was for the Witch King of Angmar. Also on his left hand is the Ring of Barahir, given to him by Elrond. I really wish it was a darker green, but at least it's here. Although the scenes are completely wrong, it looks pretty cool standing next to the Figures of Fandom Witch King. I guess you just have to imagine he's still in his regular Nazgul outfit. And if you further your imagination and pretend he doesn't have the torch, you can do the same thing for the Figures of Fandom Lurtz. And some final thoughts. This may be a step backwards in quality when compared to Lurtz and the Witch King. I really do wish the face looked more like how it was in the promotional photos. The Witch King doesn't have a face, and Lurtz is an ugly bastard anyway, so those don't really suffer from the same perceived issue here. The rest of him looks pretty decent though, and I'm a really big fan of the pose. I already expected it to not look like Vigo, but the face seems rushed and is disappointing. Had the face been closer to what was shown, I'd give this a 7.5, possibly an 8, but since it wasn't, I give this a 7 out of 10. The sculpt is great, there are just some issues with the paint application. Not the best, but not the worst. If you like what you've seen here, give this video a like, and if you want to see more, hit that subscribe button. Until next time, bye bye.